Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Please join us for a socially distanced reception in the battalion headquarters. Individually packaged refreshments will be available in the battalion conference room. Thank you for your participation in this afternoon ceremony, and please have a wonderful day.
Good. All right, so let's get everyone seated. Here's your door.
You ready? Oh yeah. Too easy. Yeah, a little rusty, but Wednesday was
Trust me, I always like the first rehearsal. Everyone was there. A lot of times I didn't bring it's not later, but the first time, because I can't see what's happening. All the guys behind me, it's like, "Treason!" And then it's like, "What?" Oh my god! What's up? Kids still like, "What?" Shit. So,
ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 5 minutes.
Thanks, everyone.
doesn't have a preview, right?
Begin in 2 minutes. Please be seated. We ask that you please silence all electronic devices during the ceremony. Gentlemen, on behalf of the United States Army Recruiting Command, 1st Recruiting Brigade, the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, and Lieutenant Colonel Brendan Julian, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Naval Air Engineering Station Lakehurst for the Change of Responsibility ceremony. Today, Command Sergeant Major James Edwards Jr. will turn over responsibilities of command to Command Sergeant Major John Edward Lohnes III. The professionals before you today are the senior leaders who are charged with leading, mentoring, and developing over 370 soldiers, civilians, and families that comprise the Freedom Battalion's 6 recruiting companies, geographically dispersed across the entire state of New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, or the greater Philadelphia area. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party, the playing of the national anthem, and remain standing for the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day that you have given us. and for this occasion that brings us together, which reminds us of the strength of our military and the freedom it defends. Thank you for Sergeant Major Edwards and for his commitment and faithful service as the battalion's command sergeant major. Thank you for positive impact he has had on the soldiers and the mission of the battalion. I pray that you will continue to be with him and bless him and his family as they move on to the next chapter of their lives. I also pray that you will be with Command Sergeant Major Lohnes as he takes on this challenge. Provide for him everything that he needs to serve with faithfulness, courage, and integrity as he continues the great work that Command Sergeant Major Edwards has begun. Finally, Lord, I pray that you will bless this time that we share together and pray that everything that is said and done here today will be pleasing to you as you continue to bless us, the entire United States Army Recruiting Command and the United States of America. In your precious Son, holy name, I pray. Amen.
Please be seated. It is tradition at changes of responsibility ceremonies to present flowers. At this time, Sergeant First Class Hall is presenting the incoming Command Sergeant Major's spouse, Shauna Lohnes, a bouquet of budding yellow roses, and Sergeant First Class Hurd is presenting his children, Gavin and Juliet, gift bags, welcoming their presence into the battalion. In September 1997, the Philadelphia Recruiting Battalion, headquartered at the U.S. Customs Building in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was relocated to the Naval Air Engineering Station in Lakehurst, New Jersey. It was then redesignated as the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion. Today, the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion is responsible for recruiting throughout the state of New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania, or the greater Philadelphia area. The battalion is comprised of 38 recruiting stations, 6 recruiting companies, and the battalion headquarters. The battalion has a strength of over 380 soldiers and Department of the Army civilians. The battalion is responsible for the recruitment of regular Army, Army Reserve, Officer Candidate Schools, Warrant Officer Flight Training, Special Operations Forces, and other special missions. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Brendan Tulin, will oversee the transfer of responsibility. The change of responsibility is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. The very soul of a military unit is symbolized in the colors under which it fights, for they represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers. The custodian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major, who is a senior enlisted soldier in the unit and the principal advisor to the commander. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of command responsibility and authority from Command Sergeant Major Edwards to Command Sergeant Major Lohnes. Command Sergeant Major Edwards will retrieve the guidon from Staff Sergeant Lee. Command Sergeant Major Edwards then passes the guidon to Lieutenant Colonel Tulin in final deference to his authority and leadership, with the relinquishing of his duties and gratitude for the opportunity to care for the Mid-Atlantic soldiers and families. Lieutenant Colonel Tulin will then pass the guidon to Command Sergeant Major Lohnes, delegating authority and entrusting him with the responsibility and care of the unit. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major will pass the guidon back to Staff Sergeant Lee, symbolizing his dedication to the soldiers of the Mid-Atlantic Battalion and the continuity of the NCO support channel. Effective 12 June 2020, Command Sergeant Major John Edward Lohnes III assumes duties as the Command Sergeant Major to the United States Army Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, NAES Lakehurst. Signed, Michael D. McGregor, Colonel, Director, Enlisted Personnel Management. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Brendan Tulin.
Can you guys hear me with this mask on? All right. CDC guidelines and all. All right, good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day out here at Naval Air and Engineer Station Lakehurst. Colonel Cushing, Command Sergeant Major Kunk, distinguished guests, family, and friends in attendance, and to those watching virtually, I am Lieutenant Colonel Brendan Tolan, Commander of the Mid-Atlantic Army Recruiting Battalion. I'd like to welcome those in attendance for coming today, while thanking those viewing today's live stream for welcoming us into your homes for today's change of responsibility between Sergeant Major James Edwards and Command Sergeant Major John Lohnes. In recognition of the ongoing challenge related to the COVID-19 virus, we are executing this change of responsibility at a social distance. Today we are executing one of the more unique changes of responsibility I have observed in 21 years in the Army. Usually, commanders will say, "Today is bittersweet," as we welcome one member of our team and we have to say goodbye to another. However, today we will experience only the sweetness. Through this ceremony, Command Sergeant Major Lohnes will assume the duties of the Command Sergeant Major of this outstanding battalion, and we will not have to say goodbye to Sergeant Major Edwards as he remains inside the unit to serve as our Operations Sergeant Major. So this is truly a win-win for the battalion. I'd like to start by welcoming some important teammates. To Command Sergeant Major Lohnes' wife Shanna and his children Gavin and Juliet, I want to thank you for your constant support of Command Sergeant Major Lohnes as he goes about his duties in service to the nation. I'd also like to virtually welcome his parents John and Martha, who are hopefully watching in Maine. For Sergeant Major Edwards, I want to say welcome to his daughter Isabel and his son James, who are hopefully watching in Connecticut. We seem to have a real New England theme going on. Usually the officiating officer's remarks talk about all the great things the outgoing leader has accomplished, while then transitioning to express trust in the incoming leader's commitment and competence. Today my remarks will be a little different, because I've worked closely with both of these leaders over the past year and already know how committed and talented they both are. So let me tell you a little bit about my battle buddies. Sergeant Major Edwards enlisted in the Army on 10 June 1992 in Jackson, Mississippi, which means a couple days ago marked 28 years since he enlisted. Command Sergeant Major Lohnes departed for the Army on 6 January 2000 from the Portland, Maine MEPS, which means he surpassed 20 years of faithful service earlier this year. Prior to becoming professional recruiter, Sergeant Major Edwards and Command Sergeant Major Lohnes lived traditional soldiers' lives and held important positions in FORSCOM units. Sergeant Major Edwards was an air traffic control systems repairer and was stationed at Fort Carson, Fort Huachuca, and Fort Drum, while also serving overseas in the 2nd Infantry Division in Korea. Command Sergeant Major Lohnes was a fire support specialist, serving in the 5th Corps, 3rd ID, and 4th ID. He deployed in support of combat operations in Operation Iraqi Freedom 1 and 3. Both were tapped for recruiting duty and excelled as individual recruiters. Sergeant Major Edwards recruited out of the Hartford Company in Connecticut, and Command Sergeant Major Lohnes recruited in Greeley, Colorado, near Denver. Both transitioned to lead the Army's recruiting force, and this is where their current expertise lies. Sergeant Major Edwards became a 79 Romeo and immediately demonstrated superior technical skills and leadership. He led recruiting stations in Sanford and Manchester, Connecticut, and following promotion to First Sergeant, led recruiting companies in Huntsville, Alabama, and Riverside, California. He, all the while, continuing to succeed at exceptional rates. Command Sergeant Major Lohnes transitioned to a 79 Romeo in 2009, where he succeeded in places that have been traditionally tough markets. He led stations in Parker, Colorado, and the Peabody Recruiting Station in New England to mission success, subsequently being promoted to First Sergeant. Following promotion, he continued to open eyes as he led the New Hampshire Company and the Wheat Ridge Company in Denver to heights never attained. Both were selected for promotion to Sergeant's Major, the highest enlisted rank. Sergeant Major Edwards is a USASMA Class 67 graduate, and Sergeant Major Lohnes is a Class 69 graduate. These are impressive soldiers and leaders. The motto of this battalion, "It began here, winning matters." "It began here" reflects the fact that the current Army that we serve is direct descendants of the Continental Army, which was formed during the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia in 1775. After serving with both these leaders, I can honestly say that success this battalion has had over the last year began with these two individuals. Their dedication and skills have enabled this battalion to reach heights that have not been experienced in quite some time. Sergeant Major Edwards, thank you for stepping into the role of CSM. Your calm and positive approach was critical in both integrating me to the team and charting our pathway forward. I thank you for wanting to stay on this team, and your expertise will continue to help us win. Command Sergeant Major Lohnes, I am honestly overjoyed that you were selected to be the next Command Sergeant Major of the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion. You bring a dogged determination that will motivate our teams and ensure we maintain focus on the mission. Congratulations to you and your family. In closing, I want to thank the dedicated professionals and families of the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion. Your daily contributions do not go unnoticed. We have great faith in each and every one of you. Again, thank you for everyone who took time out of their day to observe today's ceremony. It began here, winning matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Command Sergeant Major of the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Command Sergeant Major Edwards.
Good morning, distinguished guests, friends, civilians, soldiers of the mighty Mid-Atlantic Battalion. I promise I won't be long. First, I would like to give thanks to God. To Him, I truly owe everything. Second, I would like to share a note I wrote about a month after assuming this position. The title is Impact as a CSM. You can change CSM to leader and it will fit. If you ever think they are not listening, you are wrong. They are. If you see, you will see it in their actions, you'll read it in their emails. What you bring to the fight will be seen in your team's performance. The team takes on your identity as the leader. So be the CSM that makes a positive impact. Some of you have eyes, but no sight. So allow me to give some insight to me. Two things. I first seek to understand, then to reply. Hence the long pause and delay during conversations. Two, I execute my duties without fear or favor. It was truly an honor and privilege to serve as the senior enlisted advisor to the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion. To my kids, I love you, and congratulations, James, on your 8th grade graduation today. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but it was virtual, so I'm pretty sure you still sleep. I would like to thank Colonel Cushing, Command Sergeant Major Kunk, for the opportunity to serve as the Acting Command Sergeant Major. Your mentorship and guidance meant a lot. Lieutenant Colonel Tulin, thank you for having trusted me to be the Command Sergeant Major of Mid-Atlantic Battalion. Being your battle buddy was truly an honor. To the staff, thank you for your dedication to the soldiers and the family. You put in countless hours, and I always say, this building is full of intelligent and dedicated individuals. Thank you. To the command teams, I can't thank you enough for the time and effort you put in to take care of each and every soldier in the formation and to get out to the mission of the battalion. To the station commanders and soldiers that can't be here, this is where the rubber meets the road. We put a lot on your plate. We ask even more from you. Under great pressure is where diamonds are formed. One day, some of you will stand in front of a formation as diamond wearers. Keep the faith. Thank you for your sacrifice and dedication to the battalion. Command Sergeant Major Lohnes, I look forward to supporting you as you take the battalion to greater levels. And I mean that. There's a motivational speaker, Inky Johnson. Inky Johnson said he went on a plane when he was in high school. He went into the restroom, and when he was leaving, he noticed a sign that said, as common courtesy to the person coming behind you, can you wipe the sink out and leave it better than you found it? My mission was to wipe the sink out. Like I always say, let's be better today than we were yesterday. Winning matters, it begins here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Command Sergeant Major of the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Command Sergeant Major Lohnes.
Good morning. Colonel Cushing, Command Sergeant Major Kunk, Commanders, First Sergeant, Station Commanders, staff, and recruiters of the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, thank you for attending the ceremony today. In these unprecedented times, bringing about the normalcy of ceremony brings an organization a moment to reflect on its purpose. The purpose of this battalion stands to provide recruiting services to the greater Philadelphia and New Jersey area.
This ceremony signifies a moment to reflect on that purpose, this unit's mission. I would like to thank Colonel Cushing, Lieutenant Colonel Toulin, Command Sergeant Major Kunk for entrusting me with this great responsibility to serve as Command Sergeant Major. I will lead the way. To the company leadership, station commanders, and production recruiters in this battalion, I am honored to serve with you. To my family, first, to my parents, John and Martha, who due to these unprecedented times did not make the trip here to New Jersey, I want to thank you. Your love, understanding, and wisdom that you have shared with me as I was both a child and an adult made me the man I am today. To my wife, Shanna, this road has been nothing if not interesting. You have been my confidant, my mentor, my closest friend. This journey continues for both you and I, as well as Gavin and Juliet. To Sergeant Major Edwards, I am excited to work with you from September, and I continue to be excited to work with you, to continue to dialogue and mentor, and I absolutely appreciate everything you have done and will do. In closing, I am humbled by this responsibility. I dedicate myself to serving, leading, and achieving. This battalion can and will win. You're only as good as what you execute. It began here. Winning matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army Song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Please join us for a socially distanced reception in the battalion headquarters. Individually packaged refreshments will be available in the battalion conference room. Thank you for your participation in this afternoon's ceremony, and please have a wonderful day.